What's going on? What's going on, my The Game for Life family? Today, man, we're gonna talk about the Klay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion split. Not just only, they're with them splitting, but like why some relationships end so abruptly and end on, sometimes they end on a bad note. So we just gonna jump straight into it. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be part of the Game for Life family. All right, do that right now. All right, so Um, one of the reasons why relationships, you know, and most times not on a good note is because people don't take the time to get to know each other anymore. You know, people do not take the time to get to know each other anymore. I mean, dating somebody, you know, um, people just want to just jump straight in the sack. Just jump straight in the sack. I like you, you like me. Things. Getting too serious too soon. You know, and I want to go back to what I was saying in the beginning is getting to know someone when when meeting someone. People don't. I mean, it's like a lost art of just like going out, getting to know somebody, for them to getting to know you, knowing their family, knowing their friends, knowing what their hobbies are, knowing what they into, things like that. Just getting to know, one another. Those things is very important when you in relationships and things like that. So I just think you know, that's some of the reasons why relationships end like that. And then by them being like Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson being like, like superstars, man, or stars or what have you, that just shines like a brighter light, a brighter light on their relationships and, things like that. So, it's good to just take it easy. Like I said before, get to know somebody. Get to know someone. Go out on dates. Get to know their friends. Get to know their family. Get to know what they into. So a lot of things. Not saying that dating and get to knowing someone, a person won't change and eventually cheat or eventually, do some things that's nefarious or anything like that. But at least it won't be, at least you would have some time, at least, 9 times out of 10, if you do get to know somebody better, it does, lower, um, it does lower the suspicion. You know what I mean? And because you get to know that person, so it wouldn't be like a 3 month relationship or something like that, or a 6 month relationship or a year relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because um, you know, you will know what they into, you will know their habits, you will know their friends, their family, where they hang out, what they like to do, what they wouldn't do. You will get to know someone, so it lowers the suspicion. And also, by getting to know somebody, you right off the bat, you would be like, okay, 2, 3 months in relationship, like, nah, this is not something that I want to get into. 6 months in relationship, be like, no, it's not something that I want to get into. You know what I mean? So it's like, at least you would have that, you wouldn't go into something, falling knee deep into a relationship and giving somebody your heart or anything like that when you find out, when 3 months getting to know somebody that, this is not going anywhere, this is not where I want to be. So, just taking the time to get to know people is very important. And I guess, she said that, allegedly that he was cheating or whatever the case may be, but it's always two sides to a coin. Maybe she's right, maybe she's not. Um, but like I said, I think if she would have took the time to get to know Klay a little bit better and get to date him a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and when you're dealing with men of that caliber and also women of that caliber, you really got to take it slow. You know what I'm saying? Because they are superstars and they are stars, and a lot of people want to be with them and get with them and know them and all that good stuff. So you're going up against a lot of competition. You know what I'm saying? And especially when people got means and a way to do things, I mean, temptation is a mug. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if that's you a woman of means or a man of means, you got millions of dollars. So a lot of women gonna be flocking on you. A lot of men gonna be flocking on you. Megan Thee Stallion, she got money, nice looking lady, whatever case may be. So so that's even a better reason to take it slow and get to know somebody, just because they are able to get a plethora of guys and a plethora of girls. You know what I mean? So you always want to take it easy and really try to find out if somebody really in it for you, or in it for the fame, or in it for money, or whatever the case may be. And I just, not saying that, like I said before, not saying that getting to know somebody, a person won't change, because people change. But like I say, it lowers the suspicion. And at least, if you get to know somebody and right off the bat, you will know, like, hey, this is not for me. So, um, you know, um, so we'll see. I don't know if they'll maybe reconcile or get back together, or whatever the case may be, or they just going on, and sometimes, a lot of these stars, they want to just jump from relationship to relationship, and nothing ever works. And get end up being the third baby mama that's pregnant, and stuff like that. It's a lot of, sometimes they be pregnant at the same time. These stars jumping in the sack with this guy and that guy, one relationship to the next. And not saying that the guy's off the hook or anything like that. Because you gotta be responsible out here. You don't want to just be putting your seed into anything and everybody and just spread it all around the world. I mean, that's irresponsible. You want to be responsible. You want to be a responsible guy. You want to be a responsible dad. You want to be responsible, for your offspring. And so, just taking that into consideration. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see what's gonna happen between Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. But like I say, I always want to dig in deeper into the situation of the why. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these relationships, these superstar relationships, they really don't last. Because like I said, they got a lot of competition. They got a lot of people wanting to get with them just because they're superstars. And when you don't, when you consider yourself, up here, you know what I mean? So you don't really you want to see what's out there. You want to let your money and your fame speak for itself. And, so sometimes sometimes these superstars, I believe sometimes they do let their money and fame speak, start speaking for them. And, and doing things that they would normally do if they didn't have the money. You know what I mean? So, um, like I say, man, it's always good to, yeah, take your time in relationships, get to know people, get to know their families, get to know what they into, because you don't want to get wrapped up into somebody that's maybe, doing some kind of drug, or doing some kind of legal drug, or or overusing of alcohol, or or clubbing too much, or hanging out, or whatever the case may be. So make sure you want to just take your time and get to know somebody, before give people your all. So that's all I got. Um, for tonight. But like I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe. There'll be more videos like this to come. The Game for Life family. Peace, and I'm out.